Hey, this is Mark Henry back again to talk a little bit more about the occult and paranormal. Now, today, what I'm going to discuss is spiritual initiations and attunements. Kind of give you the basics, what all of that means, and how it works. So, we're talking about spiritual initiation. We're talking about a rite of passage into some type of magical order or religion or experience. Rite of passage basically means something you have to undergo, maybe a ceremony or test, where once you pass it, you have access to other levels, other abilities, or privileges. For example, if we're talking about just secular things, many consider the driving test and the written test to get your driver's license a rite of passage because until you pass those things, you can't legally drive. And once then, of course, that the state and the city and the country believes that you can go ahead and be a driver under those established laws. But we're talking another type of rite of passage might be if you've ever been to college and participated in a fraternity. There is a hazing process, there is a kind of a learning process, and then at the end you undergo some type of initiation, and when that happens, then you're part of the fraternity and you're part of that tradition. But specifically, spiritual traditions have to deal more with a rite of passage into a religion or magical order. And I call it spiritual because it is designed, if it's designed well, to affect the psyche. And if we want to think of their inner spirit that we carry around. Supposedly, when we're talking about spiritual initiations, that there should be some type of inherent change in the person after they undergo it. And when one undergoes it, the student or neophyte, now once they pass the test and undergoes the ceremony, spiritual initiation, they then have access to secret knowledge that may not be available to people at other levels or to the public. And they can, after that, maybe go into successive levels or initiations. You find it in religions. Scientology is a good example of this. Scientology, which is an established religion according to the federal government. They have different levels, and once that you give donations and pass the test and learn about how to do the e-auditing and all of those different types of tasks, then you move on to other levels in that organization. But again, that's secular and that's not necessarily spiritual. I don't know enough about them to say if they do any type of really things that affect the spirit, but it's kind of in the same ballpark. Now, we're talking about spiritual traditions. I will mention two in particular that I know of that have true spiritual initiations. One would be something like different traditions of formal traditions of witchcraft or Wicca, where you have different levels and you're initiated by the priest and priestess. And when I underwent a spiritual initiation, and one of the ones that I participated in, there was an oath not to reveal certain secrets. Why is that? Why is there this oath? Because as I talked about in another video about the idea of warlock, which warlock means oath breaker, somebody who went from the coven and went and joined another group or tribe, revealed the secrets of their former group, and was shunned. So that's not cool. Okay, so not to digress. So there's that. Then there is the religion of Haitian Voodoo. And in that, when you have to undergo a spiritual initiation in order to become a Voodoo Hugan, a Mambo priest, or Bakor, if I'm saying that right. My French is off. You undergo an initiation and you are told not to reveal certain things under any circumstances about some of the secret knowledge and spells and sorcery that is shared with you. and when you enter that level, more is revealed. So that's basically what a spiritual initiation is in a kind of a nutshell. Now, when we're talking about an attunement, I consider that to be a specific kind of initiation. It's special, it's similar, but I think that in some ways it is partially kind of an independent idea. An attunement is what something is a type of initiation that one undergoes in order to align one's spirit and body with a particular energy. What comes to mind is certain Japanese traditions of energy work have empowerments or attunements. Basically, what has to happen is that someone, a master who is thoroughly trained in that tradition, has to go up to the student and draw magical symbols in their energy field, in their aura, manipulate their chakras in order to unlock the inherent Reiki energy in them in order for it to flow. Now that can be done in person and it can be done at a distance, which is pretty interesting. So there is the Reiki, there is Jo-Rei, which is kind of similar to Reiki, which uses some of these same sorts of attunements. Now, before the attunement, the person cannot channel the energy in any type of significant way, more than just maybe the average person, but after they receive the attunement, then things are different. There's that change that I talked about. There should be a change from the spiritual initiation, from the time they undergo it till after, and that's the change for them. So let's see something else. Attunements can happen, like I said, in person, at a distance, directed by somebody, or they can also be undergone by an independent spiritual creature. It could be a spirit guide, it could be a deity. During meditation, this can also, if you have some astral, my viewers or anybody out there are undergoing some astral projections, regularly do astral travel. When you go out and you're encountering, maybe talking with your guides and masters, you may receive an attunement that may be offered to you. Which is, I guess, the practical part of what this whole video is about, is that if you are interested in attunements, healing attunements, attunements of any kind, you might want to check out cityofshambhala.net. That is kind of an online forum and a group for people who are interested in energy work, ascension, light workers. The attunements are free. However, I believe that there's a small fee to kind of join their online organization. But I've been a member of that forum for a while, so they're good people. And there are plenty of attunements to be had. So there are a lot of things to get into on that. Also, again, if you wanted to explore this, whenever you go into meditation, if you're connecting with your guides and your masters or doing your evocations to your spirits, deities, it's okay to request an attunement to see if that would be something useful for your spiritual growth. If you have a goal or something you're trying to work towards, I don't know, maybe like you're wanting to develop your psychic abilities, you want to increase prosperity, whatever that might be, there is a potential attunement for it to allow that change to take place, which would be certain adjustments to your energy field, to your aura, to help facilitate that change within you. If your guides don't actually know those attunements, you can request that they connect you with somebody who can. And of course, if it's not for your spiritual good, it's not for your spiritual growth to have those things, um, they might just say no or dissuade you at least. And that's basically it. That's what attunements are. That's what spiritual initiations are in a nutshell. And I think it's a pretty cool topic. Please subscribe and like. And if you want to learn more about attunements and how they work, you can check out my book on Amazon, Dancing with Energy, Healing, Magic, and Mysticism. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.